Hey guys, today is kind of a important day here. I am going to be picking up two of my embryos and driving them down to my recipient's lab that's about 15 or 20 minutes away. So today's embryo transportation day, and I'm only going to be doing this with one donor couple who I've referred to in another video as donor couple B, because they live locally. The other guys, their lab is a little further away, so they're going to be shipping that one embryo, but I'm going to be transporting the female embryo and the other boy embryo. And actually, the donor mom, or sorry, the recipient mom is going to be meeting me at my clinic with the tank, because my clinic doesn't rent out tanks or loan them out or whatever it is. So she's meeting me there, and then I'm gonna be getting the embryos, since it's just easier for me to like take my own embryos instead of having somebody else pick them up. And then I'm gonna bring them back down to her lab and to pick up my son from school on the way. But yeah, so it's kind of funny. It's like, I don't know, gonna be like transporting my genetic material like in my car here. It's gonna be kind of interesting. But some other updates of what happened up until this point. So obviously the contracts have all been completed for both couples, and we have been doing we're like the same stage with each of these couples. It just like really worked out that like everything is happening at the same time. So the contract is done. Robert and I both had to go to a lab and get our FDA required lab work done, which was really extensive. Actually, they took 5 vials of blood from each of us, plus they took a urine sample, and they did this, like, had a questionnaire with like 1,000 different questions about all of our family history, like medical history and all that stuff, which seems like that's more for people who are doing like a not an open arrangement. But whatever, I guess it's just there's protocol. But actually the contract stage, I want to go back to that, wasn't too bad. We barely did any back and forth. We were all very laid back about everything that was in there. We didn't get too in depth about what our relationship would look like, because that's not really legally enforceable anyway. So I was like, you know what, just keep all the standard stuff that's in one of these contracts, and like that's it. Like that's all it is, like, just the standard stuff. Everything else we're kind of just gonna have to like figure out on our own. So I didn't get too picky about that, and the other two couples didn't either, so that was super easy. Then it was time to arrange the transportation, which this was honestly the worst part. I thought that we were in the clear. I thought the worst part was going to be the contract, but it really wasn't. Like, this was actually, it's probably worse because I had to do a lot of the work. That's why I'm probably like, oh, that was bad. I was happy to do it, of course, but it just required me to be the middleman for both of my couples and my lab, to give their labs what paperwork they needed in order to receive the embryos, and how, I was going to pick one up and they were going to ship the other one. Thankfully, the embryologist at my lab was like really good about, being on top of this stuff. So that was really nice. So I had to just make sure that she was super clear about the two different arrangements that we had going on. I didn't want any embryos mixed up, the wrong ones going the wrong place. That would not be good. But yeah, she handled that. That took a little while. That took, I don't know, maybe a week. But it was a lot of back and forth, and so that's finally all set. So then I had, picked this day to go pick up the embryos for couple B, and so this is what I'm doing today. So this should be kind of fun. I get to meet recipient mom B today too, and her daughter, so that's gonna be fun. We haven't met in person yet. We've only talked over Zoom, so that'll be kind of cool. It's just kind of crazy when I'm like actually thinking about this. I'm just like getting ready this morning, and so my mind is kind of going like to all these places now, and I'm like, God, this is so weird. Like, I'm going to be giving my embryos, my DNA, my genetic children, my kids' siblings, I should say our embryos, because they're not just mine, our embryos, and I'm going to be giving them to somebody else, and then they're no longer going to be ours. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't have any second thoughts at all. Like, this is definitely what we want to do. And I'm getting even more excited. Recipient Mom B also told me that she's going to be prepping for a transfer right away. So she's going to be transferring at the end of May, if all goes well, of course. But I did the math. I was like counting. I'm like somewhere between 9 and 10 months. I'm like, oh my God, that is going to be like February, March, baby. Like, oh my God. Woo! It's about to get really exciting. And I know she's going to, you know, she's going to be giving me a lot of updates. So I'll have a lot of updates to share as well. So anyway, gotta go get these embryos, gotta go meet her at the lab, gotta stay on track, gotta pick up my son. So I gotta take off, but all right, here we go. Here's the tank. CCRM. Just waiting to fill this bad boy up. My embryos are in here. They're right in there. You can see them there anyway. Oh my God. Oh my God. That tank is heavy. And it's not just heavy. It's really awkward to carry too. Like, really awkward. This thing should be on wheels. All right, here it is. I feel like I have R2-D2 sitting next to me. Strapped him in so he doesn't go flying. Yeah, I have my biological DNA that could potentially turn into children sitting here next to me in the car. Got to go transfer them to the lab. This is insane. I'm so out of breath. Okay, I just had to walk down the elevator, down the hall, down the elevator, out the building, across the street, into the parking garage. Luckily, I had a pretty good spot, but like, that was a long walk to carry this crazy thing. And this little handle, gotta hurt your hands. All right, gotta get down to this lab. See you later. Okay, it's all done. I dropped the embryos off. I just brought them to the front desk, set down the little tank, and I was on my way. That was that. I'm here next to Robert. He got surgery a few days ago, so he's still a little out of sorts, but he's trying to get some work done. Let's talk next steps. That's it. I mean, our part is done. Do you realize this?
Yeah.
Like, I know you didn't do a whole heck of a lot of work for this, but like, we're out of this at this point. Like, we're just gonna wait for recipient couple A's, embryo to get delivered. Once there's like confirmation of that, like, they could never talk to us ever again, and we would have, they would be well within their right to do that. Except in the contract, it says they have to at least notify us that a baby was born.
Yeah.
But what would happen if they didn't? We just wait now. Wait to see if babies come of this. And like I said, one couple already has their transfer scheduled. The other couple it's going to take longer for them because they're using a surrogate, but they're also having another embryo like at the same time. They have like 2 donations from 2 different couples at the same time. So they're kind of working on the first one first, and then ours will happen sometime after that. I'm really not sure when. So we'll just focus on recipient couple B for now, because she's going to be making things happen so soon. So I guess just stay tuned for whatever happens in the baby making department. Woo! Not for us. For them.
Yeah.
So now we have fast forwarded almost a month. I'm sitting in my car. I just took the kids to Legoland today. They're passed out in the back. So I'm like a sweaty mess. But while I was there, I got notified, even though I already know this was happening. I already knew it was happening, but I got sent pictures and confirmation that recipient couple B, their embryo transfer was today, and they said everything looked great. The embryo survived the thaw beautifully, according to the doctor. He said that the cells inside the embryo were expanding and everything looked great. And she sent me a little picture, so here's the little guy. Yes, I said guy. They decided to transfer a boy first, And I can't help but think about like a little mini river, like river number 2, just because he was such a good baby and I would just love that for them. Oh gosh, I saw the picture. I just was like in the middle of like getting them in the park. We had just gotten there and I like pulled open my phone and I just wasn't expecting it. I was just like, oh, like I literally gasped when I saw the embryo, because it just hit home. It was like, oh my God, like that was our embryo. And even though they kind of all look the same, I mean, it's an embryo, but like the last time we saw our embryos, like they were for us and now they're not for us anymore. And it was just like, it was a moment. And I sent the picture to Robert and he said he got like a little emotional too. It's like that's our guy, but it's hopefully gonna make a home for the next 9 months in this in another woman's womb. and yeah, it's hopefully it all goes according to plan, and you know, they get their little baby. I'm like really, you know, wanting this to happen for them so bad. I would just feel horrible if it didn't work out. So I don't know if she's gonna test ahead of time or not before her beta. She doesn't know either. Actually, I forgot to say, we met them just 2 days ago. They came, well, I had already met her when we transferred the embryo, but we met the whole families. The families met each other. They came over to our house and we had pizza and wine, and we just hung out for a few hours, and it was nice. It was really nice. So yeah, it's definitely, I gave her a little a mask that said "Stick Baby Stick" on it. I got it off of Etsy. She wore that for her embryo transfer today, and she sent me a picture and she was wearing it and I was just like, oh my God. So it's super surreal right now, you guys. Like it's crazy that I mean, it's not even a baby, it's a ball of cells, and I was still like, there he is. Like, this is why I had to donate embryos, because I'm looking at an embryo like it's meaningful to me, you know, like it's a baby. So oh my gosh, Robert's trying to get in the driveway right now. I gotta go. But anyway, that's the update. So just stay tuned to see if it is a positive or a negative beta, and if a pregnancy actually comes from this. Guys, I can't handle it. I'm so excited.